Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Only one type of burger. For every pallet. Fries are extra. Large in size. We've got the shakes. Going over the brim.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. Put a positive, delicious spin on your day at any one of our 5 locations. In Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, or Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, you're right, Jake. Maybe Utah State doesn't have the money to spend on the Moo print helmets.
Don't do it. Save that, though. By the way, shout out to Courtney Tanner at the Salt Lake Tribune, who did a lot of this reporting, a lot of open record stuff, Ben. But the kind of lead, and I love this, actually, the Utah Board of Higher Education has rejected a proposal that would raise student athletic fees 25.8%, or roughly $60 annual, which meant that each USU student would be paying $290 a year for the average student. Board member Steve Nealman said this, quote, "All of this is just Band-Aids. It's Band-Aids on a gushing wound." And he said, "Sorry to be so graphic, but we're going to be back here every single year having the same conversation unless we fix this model," unquote. Ben, you ask, what's broken about the model? Well, Utah State Athletics is currently $40 million plus in the hole. Would you say 42?
Uh-huh.
Utah State as a university is over $400 million in debt. And the fact that they would say find a better way than shaking down the students does my heart well, to be honest. I mean, I think it's pretty easy just to go, let's, well, just one time, we'll bump it 25%. It's the board member, I think, is right. They'll be back every year because this is an keep-upable race. Sustainable, whatever you want to say.
Keep-upable works.
Keep-upable?
Yeah. Google it.
No, I mean, I think Utah State can kind of sustain what they're doing now, I suppose, but I don't think Utah State can keep up with the rest of college sports. Does that make it like, or certainly, big schools, even the University of Utah, who, by the way, financially, they lost $17 million in 2024 because of the transition to the Big 12, which is a huge number, obviously, but they've since kind of stabilized and shown a profit. But, or at least did in 2023 and 2022. But this is a big deal. So I like it that they rejected the student fees, but the board members also right, Ben, that they have to do something about this. And you know what? Keeping up with the big time programs, you're going to have to find a way to make a dollar out of a dime.
From the Salt Lake Tribune further, University President Brad Mortensen pitched the hike as a one-time deal that he intended to revisit and possibly lower next year. That's because the school needs a quick financial infusion now to navigate the increasingly complex funding landscape as they navigate through college athletics and then jumping to the Pac-12. He said that there was a chance to, this is the president, bring in more revenue through fundraising, increased ticket and concession prices and sponsorships. Could also rent out the arena and stadium for concerts, which seems like a given. You should be doing that already if that gives you an opportunity to make some money.
The hard part, too, Ben, though, is on top of the $40 million in debt that they currently have. In 2023, for example, their budget as it is now is largely subsidized by the school. They got $20 million from the school, like an internal loan. I I don't know how that exactly works, in 2023. And it included an additional $3 million basically that they got from a discretionary fund. I mean, they're
hurting.
They're scrapping to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm. It stinks. This is horrible about college athletics overall. This is horrible about the arms race of the haves and the have-nots. It's not just going to be Utah State that gets eaten alive like this. It's going to be other schools, and it's probably going to be bigger schools. And we recognize you just talked about the University of Utah having financial issues. This is going to be common practice, unfortunately, and I hate to see this. And at some point, you are going to see teams either just start to shutter athletic programs, if not departments entirely, because they don't think they can afford it. But you are going to see entire teams start to go away because football teams do make money and basketball teams can make money, and the rest of them generally don't. And there was a system designed to make sure that, the practice was financially solvent, and it's no longer the case.
Now, I looked into this a little bit, too, because I think it's an interesting parallel to what Utah State's going through. But back when BYU was trying to, I don't know, what do you call it when a peacock does its feathers?
Blooms?
Trying to attract the Big 12. There was this Colorado State was trying to do something similar for, if not the Big 12, the Pac-12, or something along those lines to position itself best for conference realignment. They rebooted their football stadium and they invested all this money, and it was a big deal at the time. Colorado State currently, in 2022, figures show a $28.2 million athletic deficit and over $24 million in debt service facility expenses. The windfall never came. The windfall never came. And Utah State, we'd have to talk to Scotty. I know they invested big time in the football stadium and upgrading the, what would that be, north end zone, if you've been up there. And they did a good job. It's a really cool facility. They redid the press box and all that stuff. But the windfall expected from all these investments just does not come for these schools.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, I will say the Big 12 schools, too, because Utah's going to have to get adjusted to making less revenue from television. The current Big 12 media deal is not nearly what the Big 10's is. Like a third. We'd have to go look at it.
Yep.
I mean, it's not nearly what that is. So I think we often get lost in talking about you got to come up with resources. You got to do this. You got to do that. And we completely ignore who is running it, how well they're running it, and if those resources even exist.
Yeah.
I bet you they hired the Northern Iowa basketball coach because he's used to not making anything.
Correct. You're going to win with nothing.
You're going to win with nothing.
Are you okay taking a job where you're not going to have any resources to win minus a little bit of NIL money from your one donor, and that's it? Sure, I guess. Yeah, it's brutal. It's horrible. This is a horrible story.
Sucks.
Yep, it does.
And you wonder why, Diana Sabo only kept the job for, what was it, a year? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be one of those things where you get the job and you look at the books and you went, holy cow!
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, but don't paint the helmets. Reuse last year's stuff. Fly commercial.
Yeah. Stop mowing the lawn, in fact. If that's real grass up there, you can't afford to mow it anymore.
I know.
Gas prices today? No.
I know Ajay
run the mower.
I know Ajay is a valuable member of the broadcast team.
He's been furloughed.
But yeah, rough story for Utah State for sure. All right, what's next?
Number 2, Utah Jazz hosting the Nikola Joker and the Nuggets tonight.
There was no Elijah Harkless tonight. He has been ruled out by the Utah Jazz.
Playing too well.
So the Jazz don't have a point guard.
He guards.
Let me actually check this out.
So they don't have a point guard or a center, like on the roster.
It doesn't look like it.
No. Kennedy Chandler, he's a point guard.
His 10-day ran out.
Oh, it did. Never mind.
Oh, no. Just this morning, he did sign a 10-day contract.
Okay.
So good for him. He's back there. His expired Monday night. He didn't sign Tuesday, but he signs today because 10 days will actually allow him to play another game because the Jazz have a game exactly 10 days from today.
Okay.
So they waited to sign him.
Are we sure it's not an April Fool's joke?
Just kidding, Kennedy. I know you need this money. You got to think these G League guys.
Well, 10 days making an NBA salary is big dough.
Yeah, you get cut. I think it's half of a rookie salary. So your daily, 10 days, it's like, you make like $170,000.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You get a ton of money. So yeah, Kennedy Chandler getting 2 10-day contracts, you got to think these guys are making like $70,000 or something in the G League. It's not a whole lot, but you triple that or quadruple that by getting a couple of 10-day deals.
That's huge. A good year.
It's a huge, huge boost for you, especially late in your season where you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. It's like, this bought me a house. I mean, $250,000, maybe it's not a house anymore, but that's a lot of dough.
And maybe he can play his way into being a two-way guy.
Yeah, exactly right. And then you do make half the rookie salary.
And you spend half the season up with the big club and all that stuff.
You get a per diem and all these things. Yeah.
Big windfall.
Gets pretty sweet.
So good for him. So they do have a point guard on the roster.
Yeah, and, he's played relatively well.
He's been given the green light. I will agree with that.
He has been better than I expected him to be. He is averaging 14 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He's shooting 43% from the floor, and the key for him is 36% from 3. Again, numbers late in the season don't really matter all that much, but I'm not talking for his future with the Utah Jazz. I'm talking about his future overall as an NBA player.
I get it.
He might get a G League invite somewhere. He's playing well enough right now to be on a summer league team somewhere, could be with the Jazz, and get a two-way or whatever. This is truly you're auditioning for all 29 teams.
I agree. I agree with you, but at the same time, if I were talking to him, I'd be like, dude, you are never going to have this kind of role on an NBA team ever again. So it's good and enjoy it and soak it up. But I'd figure out a way to make it so you're a serviceable whatever. Up your defense. Find different ways to be valuable. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that the Jazz are trying to lose and he's playing 40 minutes a night. No offense to him.
Absolutely.
What's next?
Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast. To our 38 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And right now, you can get an extra $100 site credit when you sell for the first time. Go to therealreal.com to get your extra $100. Therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Number 3, it's a tale as old as time. Utah's offense apparently looking really good in spring ball.
I'm excited with the progress. You're seeing the offensive line continue to make strides. Defense, I think offense maybe got a little bit of better the defense in some of the scrimmage work we did on Saturday. It was good to see the defense bounce back. As long as it's back and forth and not one side is dominating the other, that's kind of what you're wanting to see is competitive football. And the culture continues to be a strong emphasis.
That's Morgan Scally, obviously, talking about what's going on in spring ball.
Some photos tweeted out this morning by the University of Utah football team. And it is pretty remarkable and a real tip of the cap to Utah, despite all of the nonsense that I think happened in the offseason. Some of it is their fault. Some of it's Kyle Whittingham's fault. Some of it's nobody's fault. It's just the nature of the business. That they have 2 real dudes coming back at quarterback. 2 really, really good players coming back at quarterback. It's a quality and a strength that Utah has not traditionally had a whole lot of. Certainly not as a 2 deep. But having both Dampier and Ficklin coming back is such... It puts you so far ahead when it comes to things like spring football and then going into the beginning of the regular season, having not just an answer at the most important position, but a backup in case something does happen to Devin Dampier. Bird Ficklin, I thought, proved to be very, very effective last season, to the point where for a lot of the year, you and I were arguing who should be starting, or who you should be investing in going forward. The fact that they got both to come back is a major coup.
Well, I want to know if either one of them can throw, which I think is important. But it's funny to hear Morgan. I don't believe coaches when they say this side of the ball won or that side of the ball won in spring ball or fall camp ever.
I'm with you.
Because half the time they're saying it to motivate the defense. Half the time they're saying it to buck up a struggling offense.
Yeah, pat somebody on the
half
back.
the time that's three halves, but you get my point. Some of the time they're trying to manipulate the PR because they feel like everybody out there is flipping out about the offense. In Utah's case, that has specifically been true. And Morgan is different than Kyle, but when people out there are going, "Oh, is Utah going to even be able to move it a yard?" You could set your watch to it. That's the spring practice that Witt comes out and been like, "Did you see the offense today? You didn't? Well, let me tell you."
Yeah.
Whoo, doggy! It was like I was watching the Rams.
What part of practice did you guys see? We saw only the offense running, just kind of by itself. Oh. The defense had a great, whatever you didn't see.
Yeah, whatever.
Had the best day.
So it's funny, and maybe this is a new world where Morgan will tell us what's actually going on. I kind of hope that's the case. But it called me cynical, but I always hear that stuff and be like, did they get the better of the defense?
Yeah.
Did that happen? But having experience at quarterback back is good. I want to know. The bowl game was a really, from an offensive perspective, was a really positive start.
Breath of fresh air.
To the Morgan Scally area. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we see him, have a different philosophy when it comes to the relationship between the offense and the defense, I am really curious to see that happen and see how that works.
But unless you are at Indiana, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but, some of the best, you probably can't have both. Kyle Whittingham didn't accidentally choose defense over offense. He's a very smart person. He's a very smart head coach, and he recognized our best way to win consistently is favoring the defensive bodies you have. Now, that doesn't mean you can't win with more offense at Utah, but I don't think you're going to keep Kyle Whittingham's defense and then add this offense that Witt never thought of, like, oh, what if we also had a good offense? Witt's not an idiot. And Morgan is not going to be able to reinvent the wheel.
Oh, no. I don't think it has anything to do with Witt's defense, honestly. I think it's all philosophy. Witt was a Gnostic. That what it said on the wall, protect the defense. That was his philosophy, and he was living and dying by it. There was no wiggle room there. That was why he never got along with offensive coordinators. I mean, it's because that philosophy did not flow with a really potent offense. It just didn't. And that doesn't mean he didn't have some potent offenses, don't get me wrong, but philosophically speaking, that was how he was going to operate at all times. Protect the defense at all times. That was his rep. That was his thing. I don't know if it's Morgan's thing.
No, I totally agree.
I don't know. And so can we see a different philosophy work with that defense? I don't see why not. I never liked Witt's philosophy.
But I don't think you will keep, quote, unquote, that defense. I think, quote, that defense will have to change.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm sure he'll do something differently with it. I mean, Witt thought Morgan called it the most complicated defense in the world. So maybe it's that. I don't know. Kalani's, really done a nice adaptation. And Jay Hill had something to do with it too, but Kalani has made the linebacker way more important because that's what he can recruit at BYU. At Utah, at least originally, pre like Gianni Paul and well, what am I thinking? Why am I forgetting his name? He's in the NFL. Lloyd. Devin Lloyd. Thank you, Christian. Jeez.
Lloyd Cole.
Pre those guys, Utah's linebackers were decidedly average and by far the least important part of the defense.
Yeah.
So Kalani goes to BYU. He's like, man, look at these linebackers I can get. And so he's altered the defense to more highlight the linebacker. I mean, Morgan is going to do something different than Kyle Whittingham did for sure. But I hope the philosophy changes. I hope the philosophy of the relationship between the offense and the defense. For example, Kalani doesn't have that philosophy as hard and fast as Witt did.
Agreed. And it's benefited them.
I would agree with that. Yeah. He's let A-Rod eat.
And to be fair, other than last year, I don't know. And I don't know if this is a criticism of Witt or a compliment to Witt, or neither. I don't think Witt ever had this quality of quarterback room. So Morgan should change. You should change with the hand that you're dealt. And right now Utah's dealt a very good hand on the offensive side of the ball. Beyond what he just said about a little bit of practice, you have 2 real game breakers at quarterback right now. So if you can do that, and those guys can win you games, which we saw them, the final 3 games of the season, Utah came from behind of at least the last 2. With Kansas, they needed some big push. Kansas State, that was in Salt Lake. And then at Kansas to close the year, they needed these big comeback performances, and it was the quarterbacks putting it on their shoulders and doing it. Having that ability should change the way you play. I do agree with you. I'm just saying you can't have, the nastiest defense in the West and probably also have that offense.
Stay tuned. We will have more coming up next. It's Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.